Ustream. Hello and welcome to Calgary Rugby Park, where we're about to get underway between Ontario and New Brunswick. Ontario wearing red, and they'll kick off. New Brunswick in white. And this is under 16 men's action. And we have Gareth Reese sitting in the big air chair to the left here. And I'm Doug Cross, and we're going to get underway. And who's our referee this afternoon?
Well, Christina Wolf is in charge, New Zealander via Calgary here, local. So a good opportunity for her to deal with these under 16 boys.
And the first thing she's going to have to deal with is a not 10 and about 4 Ontario players in front of the kicker. She has her choice there, but it'll be a scrum center for New Brunswick. So, Ontario has to be favored in this match, but that's a bit of a clanger to start the game.
It is, yeah, and given yesterday's form, obviously Ontario big heavy favorites here. New Brunswick, the Black Spruce lost fairly heavily in the end to BC 2. But they put up a good show and were right in it for long periods of the game. So they'll want to build some momentum here, and this is a good start for them, as you say, Doug. A schoolboy error by Ontario.
Okay, that scrum moving early before the referee's ready to have it in. What do you think of the new scrum laws with the instructions and that? The scrum has taken away a lot of advantage for some teams now.
It has, and it seems to be a little bit cleaner and maybe less resets, especially at the very highest level. I think it's probably good at this age group just for the safety factor, so that no one's having to engage in a scrum when they're really not happy to. So that side of it is probably good.
So that's first service from Cameron Pope. Showing some promise early in this game. If they lost the ball to breakdown, they have, and Ontario swinging it around, trying to find some gaps there. And now that's a pass from Andrew Wilson.
Well, that's the power running we're going to expect to see from Francolini there, and all of the Ontario pack, much bigger than their New Brunswick opposite numbers.
Loose pass to the midfield. Jack Mills picks it up, and they're still making something happen from this. That's good stuff from Avery Oideman. And New Brunswick doing well. They're not leaving their feet.
Yeah, good counter ruck, eh?
William Chandler making about a half meter before he puts that ball back. So about 6-7 phases. Look at the big guy, Devin Dugara for Ontario, big number 5. And so that's a whistle against New Brunswick. What's that called, Gareth?
Well, a high tackle, I guess. He didn't agree with it, and Pat Parmenter shaking his head because he thought he had a good hit in there. You won't be lacking in physical confrontation from the New Brunswick players. We've seen that over the years. I remember that even myself at this age. What they lack sometimes in the technical ability, they'll always be there and they'll always make their big hits.
Because they got a chip on their shoulder from everyone being mean to them because they're from New Brunswick. So.
Well, Chauncey O'Toole and Jeb Sinclair, two of the great ones from that province, who currently play for the national team, are definitely of that mold.
Wind is right in Ontario's face now. It's probably a stiff breeze at this point. That's Jack McRogers.
Well organized drive here. Ball's at the back and they're getting the legs pumping on the maul. But New Brunswick have done well to stop it by fair means.
That's come out now, and that's good work from Wilson.
Oh yeah, he got a sniff of that line. He didn't need to offload it. He was over the line.
Unselfish. He was over the line and pitches it off to Ethan Hager, and that was a good bit of last gasp passing there off his back in goal.
Well, we had a great view of it from the cross camera up here of the hole that opened up for Owen Shimp, and he just sniffed it. You could see he saw it coming, and I think he'd done enough to roll over, but he did decide to offload it, and it did go to hand. So any kind of crack in this New Brunswick defense will be punished. The Ontario side lethal in the backs.
Avery Oideman is going to take the extras here, and he has got a shot straight on just 3 minutes into this contest. And it could be a bit of a long afternoon for New Brunswick once this Ontario Big Red machine gets going. Conversion is good.
We are in the evening here, Doug, just after 4:30 p.m. in Calgary. Not really as hot as you could be this time of year, but pretty stifling temperatures, a bit of a breeze building up here.
Well, we were commenting earlier, if this was Ontario at this temperature with humidity, it would feel like about 34, but it's comfortable, and it's still 24, 25 Celsius.
Really comfortable up here in the broadcast booth, Doug. Even
the big breeze coming across.
Yeah.
I understand there's it's a full-service suite up here as well.
Yeah, and there's Owen Rutan. He had an early steal and a good take there from the kickoff. He's a big presence out there, the number 8.
Oh, it's a nice spin pass into the line now, and bouncing off a couple of would-be tacklers. And now it's going to take 2 New Brunswickers to bring that Ontario player down, Andrew Maltman. Good linking up on the outside. Oh, and that pass. Oh, I thought that was a loose pass, but no. Look at this. And this is going to be a try for Ontario. I'm
and then the turtle at the end.
Yeah, maybe Cole Hoyt running that one in, or Nathan Carrier.
Yeah, big Owen Roten again, the number 8. He threw the pass. It got knocked down by the New Brunswick defender, who did well to get in between them. But then it came back to Owen's hands, and he just made the simple pass.
So now we're hearing that it's Hager for his second try. And so that's good work. Oh, yeah, I was looking on the wrong side of the list there. Apologies, folks. And so Ethan Hager gets his second try in as many minutes. And now he's walking back kind of slow. He's taking the scrum cap off and maybe rolled his ankle or something as he was going in.
Of course, all these players trying to impress the national coaches and selectors that are around here. Jim Delaney from Ontario and Mike Shelley, the under-20s coach. Jeff Wilson. Jeff Williams is out here as well, the assistant coach. They've all been taking notes on these players and spotting the talent. And that's one of the reasons here.
Flags go up. So we got her up to 14-0. Yeah, I think a lot of times these guys come at the, especially at the U16 level, and they don't have a full sense of what's laying before them in terms of what rugby can offer. And then all of a sudden they see players that they're equal to and get talked to by selectors, and they go, wow, this is something I didn't expect.
And there's athletes all over this country, and we just mentioned Jeb and Chauncey. You know, without this process, you wouldn't find those high-quality athletes. I mean, Jeb is a frontline professional playing in the Premiership in England, and he came through this system, was recognized through the Rugby Canada Festival and provincial team system.
Owen Schimple doing a give and go, and he went back about 5 meters. But look at that, Ontario still able to get on the front foot despite the mistake. And New Brunswick doing everything they can to counter ruck, but the ball coming out too quick. And this is our double try scorer. He's got his third of the game. He does.
Fastest hat trick coming up.
Ethan Hager, inside of 7 minutes, has scored 3 tries, and a little bit of spice at the end of it from a New Brunswick player, just saying, I'm getting a little tired of seeing you under the posts.
That's remarkable, and I don't know if that's ever happened in Canadian rugby before. But, man, to score a hat trick in 7.5 minutes.
Yeah, that's worth talking about on the website.
If you're out there listening and you know of an equally quick hat trick, let us know. But I would be very surprised.
We're going on a limb on this one. And, I mean, that's 7 minutes including 3 conversion kicks. So more like 5.5 of actual playing time. He's gassed from doing 3 100-meter sprints there. Avery Oideman's going to try and keep his kicking record perfect here, and
obviously
right under
put
the
a lot
post
of work
helps.
in. Dougie, he's got a good form, good technique here. Solid strike of the ball.
Forgot this is your hobby, watching kickers. So.
Yeah, beautiful strike there. Took it back quite a ways, which surprised me, but obviously put some time in on the training pitch. Good to see.
Maybe he's had some bad charge down incidents early in his career and needs to put that extra space there. So I think the instructions from the sideline is watch 12, because he is just running through them roughshod. And it's after 2 good phases, and the gap opens up, and no one's really touched him once he's gotten that ball. That's taken by McRogers. And look at a straight line running by the flanker from Newmarket.
Yeah. Ultimately, a good tackle from the New Brunswick player.
And now the one-handed pass goes loose, still picked up by the outside center, Jack Mills.
It's advantage to New Brunswick. They're not able to gather the ball. So a couple of good tackles there. Parmenter put in a solid tackle for New Brunswick. And didn't see the one on the far side that dislodged the ball. So New Brunswick will have their hands on it. And Doug, I suppose no surprise given the strength of Ontario rugby. 430 high schools playing, over 25,000 kids playing high school rugby. So it really is a hotbed. And
well, it really becomes a problem for the likes of Ontario coaches to, even hold a camp. 300 kids show up, and you have a game of touch with 150 aside and try to pull something out of that. One of the good developments
for Ontario rugby is the Fall Sevens League that's been established, which is a great, I think, innovation. So those kids not playing football, those schools without football programs can start playing sevens. So that's good to see.
Yeah, we're trying to get that going at Newmarket High School where Jack McRogers goes. So we're going to build our team around him to start. And that's the school Matt, our cameraman, goes to as well. So he's a classmate of Jack's.
And it is the Ontario forwards being penalized off their feet at the breakdown. So New Brunswick, with the wind at their back, may choose to have a bit of a break and gain some territory here. I'd give it a ride because he's got the win, and he may as well take a chance of trying to get one in there close.
Yeah, they've got their 10 to 12 point wind at their back right now, and they got to make hay while the sun shines.
You see the test judge's flag there. Clearly the wind going from right to left on your screens.
So New Brunswick's been starved of possession just because it's been all Ontario. But if they can establish this platform and get some go forward, they just got to be precise with their passing.
Yeah, and I was quite impressed with a couple of the backs. Cameron Dick at 12 is a very strong runner. And also 13 Paddy Curie, both capable of breaking tackles.
Stolen at the line out by Ontario. So now the big red juggernaut goes forward again. And now they're doing Harlem Globetrotter-like passes around the tackling player.
And I think there's a six-man overlap here if this ball goes wide.
And look at silly props, never looking. Andrew Maltman just goes in for the contact. Now it'll come to the right.
Well, everyone's having a go. A little bit selfish on the inside here for Ontario. But that may be the game plan to pick and go on these New Brunswick players. Yeah, there it is.
Looks like an Australian cattle truck there leaving the station. 4 guys in a row.
Yeah, I think the call's gone in to pick and go. Now it comes wide after they've used up all the space and got all the defenders back on their feet.
Schimple got that out to William Chandler, the front rower.
Maybe a steal on offering here. It's slow coming out.
Well, counter ruck. Oh, now the ball comes out Ontario's side before New Brunswick can get to it. But I want to say
forward
two
pass.
Arguments for forward passes there.
Whoa.
Oh, goodness. And I don't know. That kind of hurts. I don't know if that was a valid try. 2 passes there. Wouldn't have passed the sniff test, but that's going to be a try nonetheless. And I think that's from our kicker, number 50, Avery Oideman.
Yeah, so they'll take that one. Pretty dubious on a couple of passes. Maybe referee Wolf was a bit unsighted there. But
I think she may be getting a bit of an ear lashing from one of the New Brunswick players. She was looking at one player in particular who was probably just voicing his protest that a pass or two might have been missed there. Oh my goodness. Look at what Quebec is delivering us. That's very nice.
Quebec, one of the outstanding teams here. Great hospitality. There's a good talk of possibly the tournament going back to Sherbrooke, where hospitality is not in short offering.
Big thanks to Florent Rosigneau for our rehydration needs being met, as we have number 12 coming across, Ethan Hager. So turnabout is fair play. Hager scored 3 tries, and then he did the kicking on Oideman's
but he missed it, I think,
try.
From in front.
Yeah. Merci, monsieur. All right.
Well, as you see the school buses pulling up in the background, it's the end of the day here, final match. All the teams working hard. Another long kick, which gives automatic possession to Ontario, and automatically the big man gets his hands on it. Been really impressive for me. And there's a great offload at pace.
That's McRogers. He finds a nice pass outside. Good job by the flanker. Wearing some headgear today. It's a warm day to be wearing that. And now New Brunswick getting the level as they get to the ball. and just shows you the intensity that Ontario's playing at. We'll be holding a benefit for Gareth Reese's miner's lung. See if we can get him healthy anytime soon. Driven back behind the 22 there.
New Brunswick. But again, it's stolen at the breakdown.
Oh, and
good hands.
That ball spilled and now kicked on, and the forward pass picked up now this time.
As you said, Dougie, they're perhaps guilty of trying the miraculous passes.
They're feeling pretty good about themselves and think everything's going to work. There's still some able-bodied guys in the form of New Brunswick as we see a change. That'll be number 14 coming on for New Brunswick, Michael Richardson. And we'll see who's coming off.
Yeah, we got a bit of blood maybe, or...
No, he's just, it's number 19 coming off. Just, I guess, player management at this point. I don't have a 19, I have a 29, so Morgan Palmer came off.
So a big blindside is open to New Brunswick. There's no defenders out there. I wonder if they've recognized it, and they have. Oh, I thought they were going to go, but the box kick, again, really giving away possession rather than keeping it in hand, and this could be trouble. There's a lot of space out there, yeah. Just loping through the defense is the fullback, Avery Oideman.
Guimond that's come off for New Brunswick, Bradley Guimond. That'll be scrum for New Brunswick here, about 10 meters out from their own line. So they'll want to just have a set piece and give it a ride down the park.
Yeah, with this wind at his back, he doesn't need to be putting it up like that. I thought they missed a great opportunity to run there. The fullback had no one in front of him. As the far side winger, Jermaine Shorter, kind of missed his assignment. He was really deep.
Charge down by Ontario. New Brunswick gets to it over the line, so it'll be a dropout, 22-meter dropout.
Advisedly, they should go long again. Yeah, and they
that's a bit of a clanger, and they would like to take that one back.
Too much. The idea was good.
Rushing.
Give him credit, Kyle Sloot, but he was a bit Sloot foot there. He just missed the ball altogether.
Yeah, he was just rushing up too fast to try and wrong foot the Ontario team there, and just couldn't execute that nudge over the line. But now they're getting another shot at it, interestingly.
So again, I don't know why he's so close to the line.
And that wasn't
there you go. He's found some space.
I don't know if that was a drop kick or not, but we won't get fussy at this point. Tate Ruse going into contact soon. Oh, the offload to Oideman. And Oideman, a class runner. Forward pass picked up.
Good positioning from referee Wolf there. She saw that one. Wow, you saw the commitment we've been talking about. That was number 14, Michael Richardson, just steaming up to chase that kick and decided to finish his tackle.
So we're about 2 minutes left in this first 20-minute period. If you had your choice, would you play one 80-minute game a day or two 40s? I mean,
240s. I think it is something we should look at. These athletes traveling so far to be here. Maybe getting a few more matches in the day. I know the IRB gives us guidelines, but it would be nice. And the other great thing is that you get to match up a little bit sooner with the teams of your same level of opposition, so you don't get the big scores, kind of like we got developing here.
Right.
But let's give credit to the New Brunswick the last 5 minutes. They've had possession. They've had some penalties awarded to them, but they're missing touch and giving possession back.
That's Oideman. What a well-timed pass. He felt the cover coming across, gets that off to our triple try scorer, Ethan Hager, and just a well-weighted pass in terms of time and how he delivered it. And look, another delay, and that one went to ground. New Brunswick's jumped on it. Ed Mahar's got it there for New Brunswick, but a knock on. It'll be Ontario scrum, and this is their favorite part of the field because makes New Brunswick have to make some hard decisions defensively. Is there going to be a high ball? What kind of attack are we going to receive? Extra attackers in the line, etc.
Will Ethan Hager get his fourth, possibly?
He's really gone off the boil after those 3 in 5 minutes. I'm a little disappointed.
Good initial shove from Ontario. The old dive pass.
Miss out. Misses the hands.
Oh, that could be costly.
Oh, and New Brunswick couldn't find the handle. That was 23 for New Brunswick.
Nathan Carrier. She's playing advantage on the second.
Oh, that's Ruse again. And that's no ruse. He's going all the way himself. And he will take it under the posts and score the big try there. And the scoring continues for Ontario.
Yeah, I thought that was a bit harsh, as clearly Ontario had knocked it on in the midfield. They picked it up and looked to go for the break, but they didn't. They knocked on themselves. And New Brunswick should have had a scrum midfield. There we go. When things aren't going your way, that's the way it is, and Ruse gets it done.
So likely we'll be going into halftime right after this, taking a quick break, leave the picture rolling, and back to you with more action in a couple of minutes. You're saying 30-minute halves? I'm hearing 20-minute halves. Okay. So actually another 10 minutes to go. So we're not taking a break. We're staying with you. And it's Hager that will be taking the kick here.
Well, you got to give credit to Cameron Pope. He's worked his buns off trying to block these kicks. He's a never say die guy. He had a couple of good moments in the game against BC yesterday, the scrum half, and he's constantly working for the New Brunswick cause.
Scoreboard at 33-0 for this New Brunswick team, and the tough part is keeping this New Brunswick team interested in playing when the score is getting one-sided like that.
Yeah, they'll be wanting to put something together, tighten up their defense a little bit, try and put some phases to play together. Obviously, they'll be looking to the next games in the festival where they can match up with opposition of similar standard. Ontario just one step above at the moment, both physically and tactically.
That's Wilson getting it down the line now to Hager.
Oh, what a tackle. Great hit from the center there. I think that was Paddy Curie.
Oh, nice spin move by the scrum half now. Wilson going down that left wing, and they offload, and this will be another Ontario try. It looks like, is it Oideman? No, I don't think it's Oideman.
No, it's the far side winger there, Tremaine Shorter. Yeah, Shorter showing why he's on this team. Pure pace, didn't need much room there, was put away, and he carried it home.
So 38-0 with the kick from Hager to come. Why the change in kickers, do you think? Is it just whoever's run hardest, or is it kicking by committee? Or
just good. I mean, one thing I would say is that Avery Oideman showed that he is a class kicker, and he's obviously worked at the craft. So they know he can chip these ones over from in front of the post, and maybe give a few other players the opportunity to try it in a competition format.
Yeah, it's always a little different come game time versus knocking a bag of balls over at the end of training.
Yeah. Maybe they're trying to give him a points record here for Hager.
Yeah, he'd be on 15, 17, 19 maybe at this point, 21 with this. 21 of the 38 points to Hager. And remember, one of your former teammates is within earshot. How long would you spend at the end of training kicking, place kicks and things like that?
Oh, usually.
Sorry, that's a four-finger.
3 or 4 hours a week.
3 or 4 hours a week.
Minimum. But at the end of training is always good because you're tired, and also it's nice when the boys are in their cars driving home at the end of practice and you're still out there in the rain. They get to see you putting in the extra effort. Good talk there. And that is Spanton. That's his first touch, really. Good call there and a good offload.
Sure, TSN's Brian Spanton watching this with great interest. Hey to him.
Good vision. there was all sorts of space on the blind side, and it was switched back, and that's the 2-on-1.
Oh, the no-look offering there, and then down the line there
Scranton
from the
boot to
flanker.
it. Showing the full range of skills. Will it come off?
Oh, and that New Brunswick player took it across, so it'll be a 5-meter scrum for...
Already better than his dad. Flanker on the wing, seeing the space was there. Good decision from him.
Ontario mates giving a sort of a congratulatory attaboy, thinking he'd scored, but he hadn't. It was New Brunswick taking that ball across. Now they got the 5-meter scrum.
Some fresh legs coming on the field for New Brunswick. That's Bradley Guimond. So no pushovers in junior rugby, only a 1.5 meter push allowed, but Ontario have shown they can get the platform. I wonder if they may try and wheel it with the right shoulders going up here and giving the opportunity for Rutan at number 8. Oh, well disrupted by New Brunswick.
So that didn't go to plan.
Looks like maybe they're looking for the left shoulder up. They run into the scrum half.
Should quit those smokes, man. Big
Well, there's
push.
that shove, yep. Here he goes, off to the right. 1 tackler, 2 tacklers, 3 tacklers, but he gets it down.
So that's Owen Rattan making it happen from the back of the scrum, and New Brunswick was there in numbers. They knew it was coming, but it's kind of like knowing winter's coming. You can't stop it.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with him. Obviously a great frame on and big lad, big shock of hair, but he's got good range and good skills. Got some nice offloads, so I think he's one for the future. Owen Rattan, and obviously some Welsh blood in there as well.
So now I think we have a change in kickers now, and it's going to be Jack Mills doing the honors. So like you're saying, I think the coach is saying, yep, let's get these guys in tired conditions running around and see how they can do, so we can build up a list of good place kickers for this team.
Just 3 minutes left here in the first half. It's been all Ontario on the scoreboard.
The game within the game for New Brunswick now is just to get into Ontario's end, honestly. And then from there, if they can sustain that, try and get across the
Beautiful
line.
strike. Does he have the legs to get there?
No, just
No,
across the
that's a
front of the
shame.
posts. Yeah.
Good effort from him. Of course, Ontario won. The first choice team in under 16 will be looking to the big tilt with BC. That's the big rival. BC 1 and BC 2, 2 matches for them.
I think they play 3 during the week, don't they?
No, that's the under 18 group. And,
Yeah. Oh, I see. Right. Yeah.
what they've done at that age grade is actually separate them. So, slowly coming to the ball, New Brunswick. Another long kick. This one goes to deck. Well cleaned up in the end by DeGuara. So many options for the men in red.
Wilson's pass is knocked down by New Brunswick.
Oh, what
and
a hit.
Severe tackle coming in from New Brunswick. And that's from number 13. there.
He loves to hit, man. Great to see. That's all
More
he
of that
can-
from him, please, and that'll slow Ontario down a bit.
Sometimes that's all you can do when you're in this situation offside.
And things might be getting a little hot over there, and referee Wolf marching New Brunswickers back another 10 meters, well, 10 plus, yeah.
Oh,
So she added on to it.
I think that was the flanker, Pat Parmenter, who's had a couple of good hits. I think he thought the ball was out and he took a run at the scrum half. That's sliced, so this will be an opportunity for New Brunswick.
Well fielded back there. Oh, and look at the open
Good
field
job.
tackle shrugged off.
Oh, good work from him. He had no support. He gets the pass away too.
That's a good job to Jack Howe. And now he'll feed that ball back. And he's getting trampled on a little bit. Hands in the ruck. Ontario will retreat. And, should be another 10 there. Suddenly that ball ends
Well
up
done,
away.
Bradley Guimond, with no support back there. He outpaced 2 of the Ontario players and got the offload in.
Yeah, the one Ontario player had his hands on his shoulder and he just kind of shrugged out of it and kept going.
There's the kick for touch. Again, maybe not so advisable. Keep it in hand, take a chance to get some quality possession. They're now going to have to win this line out. I'm sure Ontario will be boosting up the pods in defense. But a little bit more spirited finish here to the Spruce in the end of this first half.
Yeah, just a few seconds left before we hit the 30-minute mark. And we got Nathan Fiander throwing in for us. Maybe it's Nathan Flander.
Oh, well executed, except he couldn't hold on to it.
Wilson misses out two. Rattan linking for McRogers. McRogers across halfway, showing the pass and finally releases to Hager.
Go.
And is it 4 for Hager?
Kit Kat.
Cabo Wabo Hager, and he's going to get to the line. And what a great job by this man. 4 tries in the first half. And you got to think the coach is going to let him sit on the bench in the second frame.
As he started the half, he ends it. It was turnover ball, so the Spruce were vulnerable in defense. The lineup was stolen. Then Simple Hands, good linking up from the back row combination of Rattan and McRogers. They did the work, and Hager got to run it in.
Yeah, just the presence of mind that they have. They know they've got some defensive cover to beat, and they just have that presence of mind to wait. 1,001, 1,002, contact on me, now pass, nothing you can do. Free lane for Hager.
Well, a much welcome rest will come now, halftime here after this kick. It will give the Ontario coaches a chance to get all their subs in the second half.
Yeah, they'll likely, there's a big gang of guys licking their chops saying, hey, we can do a lot too, guys, and that could become troublesome for New Brunswick because that mob of guys is going to try and put their own stamp on this game.
There we go. Mills again. This time not quite the strike of the last one.
If I'm Mills, I'm not too happy with the out wide kicks I'm being given. But hey, you take them when you can get them, and that's a great first half effort by Ontario as they lead 50-0 over New Brunswick. We're going to take a quick break. Back with you more in just a few minutes. So getting ready to get underway here in New Brunswick, bravely coming up to kick off here to Ontario, down 50-0. And Gareth, I won't say that you've been subject to such one-sided scores, but when the scoreboard's working against you, is there mental games that you play to try and stay in it, or is it? I mean, what's the answer for these guys?
No, as a player and as a coach, you try and pick a couple of things to work on and fix. And we have been in these situations over the years with Canadian teams trying to move up the ladder in the world scale. You know, you pick things to work on. And for New Brunswick right now, I'd say it'd be their first up tackles and make sure it counted. And they got to try and hold on the ball a little bit longer. But yeah, things are going to be tough here. So they want to try and build a little bit of cohesion, trying to get some offloads going, get some driving play going. So when they do transfer to their games tomorrow and the next day, you know, they'll be they can take some lessons from this one.
Number of changes on the Ontario team will tell you who's come on as we get a look, but seeing a lot of the first half guys on the bench. And as we said, there'll be some guys looking to put their hand up for future games by putting a big performance on in the second half, as New Brunswick's taken that ball in the early going, and as Cameron Pope, he's, as you pointed out, he's got a lot of go forward for this New Brunswick team, even trying to charge down the conversion kicks.
Oh,
that's
good
more like it.
There.
Declan Boone going into contact. He's holding on to it, though. He might get penalized.
Well, a spirited start from the Black Spruce. That ball's kicked at the ruck. Can they get their hands back on it? No. I think Ontario's poached it, and this could be danger again. Yeah, referee rightly determining that he was picking up his blockers there was the scrum half Andrew Wilson.
Sound like a truck and trailer, or is that just hitting his own man?
I think he's just running behind a few red jerseys.
Yeah. So Nathan Match at number 8 for New Brunswick. They're all actually looking somewhat energized, picking and going and trying to bash past that Ontario D. Ontario just putting all kinds of pressure on that New Brunswick scrum. Ball staying that side, and now that is he's wearing number 15. I don't think any self-righteous fullback would be in there on purpose. Kyle Sloot acting as number 8 for New Brunswick. Ontario's taking that ball again.
Well, as we saw in the first half,
Maltman
very comfortable running with the ball and doing serious damage there.
Head on a swivel, looking for a pass option while running over a potential tackler.
Well, I was about to say a nice bit of cheating there from Curry coming out the side, but he's been nailed by the referee. Yeah, and you heard that from the coach. Keep it up. You know, don't let him have it their way. Try and disrupt every way you can, and you're gonna have to play the edge of the laws to do that. So full penalty to Ontario. They'll be able to kick for territory and have possession.
It's a big long kick, but net result will be a bit less than maybe they expected, even with the tailwind.
Hey, Dougie Andrew Maltman, the Ontario prop, looking very comfortable around the park. Strong, confident.
And you don't want to sound too insidious at the selection level, but you know, Canada needs its next generation of props, and the game is looking for the mobile, running type of prop. The big guy isn't really part of the modern game anymore.
Oh, another sub, Matthew Tedford on the field. He'll be at scrum half here. He's actually joined in the drive straight away, number 19 for Ontario.
And that ball should be coming out of there at some point.
You hear the leg drive call coming from Ontario. That's the missive. It's on the ground, so it means the Spurs can spread out.
They both left early thinking the ball was coming out. And the scrum half for Ontario, Andrew Wilson, pays the price with a double tackle. And he'll need to refill his lungs after that one.
Well, if Ontario can repeat that driving form in the maul from this penalty, they should be over the line. So a great test for them.
Wilson, a left-footed kicker when he needs to be. That was a nice bit of show by him. Ambidextrous kickers, a very important part of the trade when you're a fly half or scrum half, where you're going to have to maybe under pressure need to kick that ball away and might not have your favorite foot available.
Let's see if Ontario can repeat.
Kobe Welch is throwing in for Ontario now. And Karen Lozada stopping the throw in for a moment, Seems to be something going on at the line out.
Yeah, actually, Christina Wolf in the middle, yeah.
No,
Doesn't
but
look like
it was
Spruce-
Lozada on the sideline.
Oh, sorry, yep.
Stepping in front of the thrower.
Doesn't look like the Spruce are going to compete. They're just going to try and stop the drive. There they are, lined up to hit it.
It's actually probably a reasonable call as the ball approaches the line, that they've got to be ready defensively for whatever Ontario's bringing rather than try and challenge for the ball.
And credit, they do get it down. Look at that effort. And they've stolen it.
Good
that's
work.
Just pure pride there from the Spruce on their own line. Great work from them.
And I'll tell you what, if New Brunswick can organize and drive down the Ontario end and score a try, probably be the loudest cheer you'll hear in the stadium this afternoon.
Oh, no.
Oh, partially charged down kick. Players crossing.
Yeah, not releasing the player, I think.
Oh, okay.
So, well done to New Brunswick. Goal line stand here.
So Cameron Pope will look to
and once again,
buy some real estate.
Yeah, well done to Curry. He's had an outstanding game. He's done all he can.
Ooh. To borrow your famous line, "Shank you very much." He'll not be happy with that.
A few of those big forwards that stop the drive are getting a little bit of treatment there. Another replacement in the game. That is Jonathan Gillen, sorry.
Consider this, Gareth, in the first 5 minutes of this game, we had a hat trick by one player.
Yeah.
In the first 5 minutes of the second half, no one scored from Ontario, and New Brunswick has had the lion's share of possession, albeit down in their own end.
Bit of mix-up as New Brunswick will put some subs on the field, so those lifting pods are new and using different combinations. Well executed.
Good job by them as
Fortunately, the
number 15
kick.
Kyle Sloot getting that in the line out, but now Ontario coming back the other way.
Yeah, it takes the hit on the line and gets it down. Beautiful hands from Owen Schimple out there, keeping that play alive with a low pass. But after the shanked kick from Pope, it was just pretty simple stuff for Ontario through the hands.
Player coming off, getting some treatment to his hand, it looks like. Big number 5, Devin DeGuara.
So Jack Mills is going to line this up. I think he's going to get this one, Dougie. He's got a little bit of wind at his back. Distance was his issue before. 5 steps back. 2 over.
Were you a 5 and 2 man, or?
I was. I like to see it. Good strike. Lifted the head a bit, but he's got the distance. Beautiful kick. That's all it needs. So normal service resumed here for Ontario. Break gives us a chance to thank some of the people that make it possible for these athletes to be here. DHL, a national sponsor, Under Armour, Langara Fishing Lodges, the Government of Canada through Own the Podium, Merit Travel, Gowlings, our lawyers, and the City of Langford, a huge supporter of the Centre of Excellence, where some of these athletes may end up training for the national teams.
Yeah, Langford's where the America's Rugby Championship will be taking place in October. You can buy tickets at americasrugbychampionship.com. Maltman first up with the Ontario possession.
Good steal.
Look at New Brunswick go here, and that's from the wing, looking for Michael Richardson there. And now they're coming around. Oh, just off the fingertips. Agonizingly, the pass.
Well, Kyle Sloot, I'm not quite sure what position he's playing. He's been at number 8. He's getting his hands out wide, and he's doing everything he can. He's made some good runs here.
I think he is a fullback playing number 8 today, honestly. He probably put his hand up. He's one of those guys. Sure, I'll give it a whirl.
Yeah, good for him.
Tell the truth, have you ever played in the forwards?
I have. Not so well. I have a body type for it. And as we see another New Brunswick substitute, I mean, some great memories, Dougie, from New Brunswick rugby. For myself, the way back when, the Canada Summer Games out in St. John, where we had really spirited. We had to meet Banana Power for New Brunswick. That was their team. But obviously for Canadian rugby, a big victory over Scotland. First win over Tier 1 nation in St. John as well, which was a great moment. So a good community out there. It supports the game and has produced a lot of good athletes.
Interestingly, Scotland coming over to Canada this summer, they refused to acknowledge that victory in their official press releases, where Canada was saying, "Hey, we're 2-0 against Scotland at home," and they refused to acknowledge that game had ever happened.
That's because Mark Wyatt kicked the world record penalties, and we beat him, and it was a great week. I remember doing a bunch of community events with the local community, and one of the highlights of my career was going into a junior high school gym. And we really didn't think of ourselves as a national team. We didn't have an identity. And these kids were screaming Canada. And so we knew that outside of BC and Ontario, people were actually backing our national team. And it was a great moment for Canadian rugby to know that you weren't just representing your club, you were representing the whole country. And there was a certain responsibility there.
Big gaping holes in the New Brunswick defense. And here's a chance for Ontario.
Uh-oh.
Right-footed kick. And the chase on. New Brunswick will gather that in. No drop ball. Right into the hands of number 20, Connor Arnsby. And he will score under the posts. And even when things go wrong, they go right for Ontario, as New Brunswick should have grabbed that loose ball up. Instead, pounces right into Arnsby's arms.
Yeah, I don't think he could quite believe his luck. It's the way it goes sometimes. And I thought Tremaine Shorter was going to go around the outside again. But he put the chip kick in to keep the play alive.
So that kind of play would dampen the spirits of New Brunswick. They've been playing better, but those kind of ones you go, come on, really? That just happened? And hopefully they'll be able to bounce back. And they've been putting in some good tackles, disrupting Ontario's ball, and they got to do more of that. No free passes for these boys from Ontario. As the flags go up again for Jack Mills. 64-0, and we're unbiased here. We're watching all the provincial teams cheering them on, but I would really like to see New Brunswick organize some sort of a score, even if it's a penalty at this point, because they are working hard. They are trying to do the right things, but that's up to them out there.
Yeah, well, they won't quit, Dougie. We know that. But across the pond, it is a credit to Ontario and the way they've transformed under Glenn Tarver, really transformed this program. The number of hours that the men in red have probably played compared to the men in white is substantial, with all that school rugby and club rugby. So shorter playing season for all the maritime teams, that can be tough to combat sometimes.
Oh, and good passing.
Queuing up again.
Look at all the red shirts just queuing up for support too. Oh, and New Brunswick hand got on there, and you could almost
Curry
say that
again.
was intentional knock on.
That's a penalty. Yeah. Oh.
Intentional knock on is the call.
Shocking call there from the referee. There's no way that was intentional. He was trying to finish a tackle, but she said he intended to knock it on, but that's the way. Things aren't going their way.
The 4-try scorer giving it a boot now. Ethan Hager has impressed here. Honestly surprised he was out for the second half after a first half performance like that. It'll be hard to catch in the point scoring title in this tournament. Piling up some conversion kicks as well.
Will be the substitute hooker again, Colby Welch. You got some big targets in there, notably Devin DeGuara, but they've gone in the front.
All the basic stuff is being done so well by Ontario. Their lineouts are flawless. And the passing, look at that pinpoint accuracy, spin pass on full pace. And I think that's Owen Schimple going there now. Offload to the last man outside wide at the line.
Oh, did he get it down? No, he knocked it on.
Oh, just shy of the line. And New Brunswick will be thankful for that. They'll have a scrum.
Yeah, high fives all around. And guess who made that tackle over there? It's Paddy Curry again. This guy, for a man who's barely had the ball in his hands, has had a huge impact in this game.
He's been
sometimes that's all you can do.
Yeah, just make your tackles and hope luck comes your way. And yeah, I think Ontario was thinking they'd scored another try, and they hadn't. Now we have 22. Dartigan, Mallet coming on.
Well, and there he comes off the field.
It's great that we're getting.
He might go tackle the water bottle. He's hitting everything so far.
So trying to clearance kick from their own line. All they're offering up is a counterattack to Ontario now. The back three getting ready for the attack here.
Look at that loping stride. So confident, ball in hand.
Good first tackle made on Hager. And now, is that going to be a try for, I want to say that was Matthew Tedford at the line, but that ball coming back now. A miss out 3 and touching down as easy as that. Connor Arnsby for his second one of the game. So, lots of people getting on the score sheet in this one.
Often hard to judge when the standard of opposition isn't quite up to it, but Ethan Hagar looking so comfortable on the ball. Big, long stride.
Yeah, you'd really want to see how Hager performs against a BC, and is he running around with such abandon. I think, he'd be marked a lot tighter and find it a lot longer afternoon.
It is one of the features. I see the BC coaches sitting up here just taking a few pointers on the Ontario team. They've got them coming up.
Jack Mills looking to make this score go into the 70s with this conversion kick. And he'll be denied.
Yeah.
The score stuck at 69 with 15 to go. I just got to say it publicly, full credit to our man Matt Cross working his first tournament, and he didn't know what he put his hand up for when I said, hey, you're coming to Calgary, and he thought it was to go see a football game or something, but no, he's been working hard here. Appreciate his efforts.
And let us know what you think of these pictures. We're trying to cover everything from field one, and it's not cheap to do this, but we do try and put it on so that the families and all the people, the clubs, the club mates, the schoolmates that have supported them along the way can watch and support the athletes when they're at the National Festival. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, there's a social media stream next to the player that you can chat with. And now Ontario from the kickoff. That's Jeremy Gam trying to break away from a couple of tacklers. He's gone to ground. Even the missed passes are...
got that one.
Yeah.
Well, as this one comes back, Dougie, one of the things that we're trying to, as Rugby Canada, put around this tournament, we have lectures for the athletes on nutrition, on psych, and on some culture issues of the history of the game. But also a great opportunity for all these men athletes tomorrow. We've got some national team players in camp. Nanyak Dallow, the great 7s and 15s flanker for Canada, along with Gordon McCrory, got his first cap this summer, and head coach Kieran Crowley, himself a World Cup winner with the All Blacks, now coaching Canada, coached Canada the last World Cup. So they're all going to be here signing autographs and answering questions for these players and having a chat with the players. So just passing on that top level experience to these up and coming provincial players.
Watching this Ontario backline defensively, and it's like they're running a drill. They're all cocked, hands to the side, ready to tackle. These guys are fired up, and now they've had to retreat 10 meters. And look, they're all in the ready defensive position again.
I think New Brunswick can give it a go here. Good on them, and full credit for taking the attack. The big man bounces one, bounces two, legs still pumping.
That's
good work.
Ed Mahar. Good job by him, the big front rower for New Brunswick.
Ontario slowed that ball up, though.
Drop ball by the 8, Nathan Matchett. He was out of this game and came back in. I guess maybe it was a blood sub, I don't know.
I wonder if the big man DeGuara is taking a shot to the head with that bullocking run.
Yeah, I think he went to put a tackle, and that lower shoulder might have hit him square in the face.
Will be a welcome water break for the players. End of day 2 here at the National Festival.
You go to nationalfestivalrugby.com, and there's 4 different tabs, one for each age group, and that allow you to track the standings, all the results from each age group. It's a really, really well organized website. I think classically done. Good job by the webmaster on that one. And gives you all the news of the day, photographs, and all the links to the videos, and keeps you up to date on what's going on at Festival Rugby.
If you have missed some of our earlier games, they all are archived, isn't that correct?
Absolutely are, yep. Good for throwing up on the big screen with a adult beverage and some popcorn, and just catch up on all your rugby.
Speaking of which, our national women's team got a big match coming up against England over at their World Cup in France, in Paris, Marcoussis. So they've had a great start to the tournament, beating Spain and Samoa, but they have an opportunity against England to book themselves a spot in the World Cup semi-final. It's a big ask, but they're going to go after it.
That loose pass went into touch. Yeah, that game's going to be on a programming note on TSN2. Not everyone's got TSN2 on a Saturday there, but maybe time to pop out to the local sports place that does have it and organize breakfast there. I think it's going to be like is it a 9:45 start?
I think so, yeah, with the time change. You know, all those athletes, virtually all of them, are graduates of this festival representing Canada at the World Cup.
Everyone's holding their breath and going, ooh, England. But, Canada beat England twice at the Nations Cup last summer. And so it can be done. And I think that's their kind of watchword is, yes, we can. We can beat these teams. Even New Zealand, who lost to Ireland, Canada in a pre-season, pre-World Cup tour, was only 4 points and 5 points adrift, something like that, in the pre-season tour.
Well, either way, Francois Rache, the head coach, has been playing a beautiful brand of rugby. They run the ball, they move the ball quickly. Good skills from their midfield, a lot of them centralized sevens players, and led by Kelly Russell up front. They're a good side to watch.
He's built a real culture of family there too. They're playing for each other. There's no division in that team, and he's done it in a lot of interesting ways. And what do we got there?
I think the flanker there was obstructing the New Brunswick scrum half, who was looking to come around, so he's been penalized.
Stayed bound, but sort of swung his leg out and tried to block free passage.
He did. So a chance for Cameron Pope to stick this in nice and tight in the corner if he can.
Kicking that Aussie rule style end over end. And boy, I think he would have wanted a little more from that. That's just 19 meters. Well, 20 meters if we want to argue about it from the line. Probably New Brunswick's closest chance this half.
Yeah, let's see if they can secure possession first off and maybe get the ball in the hands of the midfield.
Important they don't try to do too much. Keep it basic. Overthrow to the other team, not the way to do it, though. And that's gone forward. Wolf hasn't picked it up.
A white player.
Right.
And he was over there, Pope, tracking all the way across the field.
New Brunswick's got that. It's Pope, and he's getting wrestled into touch, but he stays in play. He realized all of a sudden where he was and started driving the other way, and that was a heads-up play by the New Brunswick scrum half. That ball's gone loose now.
Yeah, good refereeing there by Wolf. The Ontario player sneaking up the blind side. I think we're going to have a quick tap and go here. Well, once again, sit down is the command.
Mahar is a human bowling ball there. Did a 7-10 split there, but stolen ball by Ontario. And that's good first up run from Welch, the hooker. Oh, and holding on to that ball for an eternity, the scrum half, 21. Matthew Yee.
Wow,
oh, nice
running.
Ball exchange there from one arm to the other. Now splitting the last two defenders. That's some classic running by Ontario. What do your eyes tell you there? Who got that one?
I think that was Schimple.
Oh, and Schimple, the fly half.
Yeah, I think so. Headgear on.
That distinctive light-colored scrum cap.
Yeah, he just showed the outside and cut well off his right foot. He's going to take the conversion as well.
I feel like is his scrum cap brand name taped over, an homage to a former fly half?
Good to see. Everyone's got a price, Dougie.
The key is not to use very sticky tape. Wet day. Maybe it'll come off by accident. Tremaine Shorter here no, this is going to be Schimple kicking his own conversion.
Well, Doug, as the freight train moves through in the background, you can't help but think this red Ontario machine has been virtually unstoppable once the ball gets released to the midfield and beyond.
You're just going to drive that
stars of the game
metaphor
there.
through, weren't you?
Ethan Hager comes off for a rest. Impressive match from him.
76-0, and that'll be a real ouch moment for New Brunswick supporters when they see that. But these guys will live to fight another day.
But it was 80 yesterday against BC, so let's see if they can hang on here for another 6 minutes, 5.5 minutes to stay under that 80 number.
That's the new game inside the game.
Yeah, nobody puts 80 on New Brunswick. Yeah, good tackle there.
Look at Ontario coming away with it again, but a whistle from Wolf.
Yeah, no quit there from Michael Richardson, putting his head in. A much bigger man.
Yeah, I wouldn't be putting up with that train if I lived around here that long. Those brakes are pretty awful.
It's the Wild West, Dougie. So, all the New Brunswick backs to the bottom of your screen. Can they create something? I'm going to reset the scrum. Referee not happy. Looks like Ontario pushing a little early there.
That wind really coming down the field into New Brunswick's face now. It's pretty brisk.
Good refereeing by Christina Wolf there. She moved to the other side of the scrum. Just have a look, make sure nobody's taking any advantage.
Schimple really taking this team on his back, trying to make something happen. And one of the smallest guys in the New Brunswick team taking on a couple of second rowers. It's never going to be a fair fight. They stripped that ball, and that pass was flat at best to Tate Ruse. He had a nice try here earlier in this half. Not releasing that ball in the tackle. Mistake by Ontario. I really got to admire this Cameron Pope. There's no quit in him.
No.
The New Brunswick Sisyphus.
I think they changed the call. Edmar, the captains, changed it. They're setting up one of their set plays.
Oh, Mahar lowering the boom again.
Has yet to be stopped by the first tackler.
Everyone's kind of looking around. You taking him? No. Are you?
And there goes Pope. Fortunately, the technique at the ruck is a little wanting for these New Brunswick players, so they can't get quick ball.
Oh, and Cameron Pope.
Yeah. Referee right on the spot, hands in the ruck.
I thought Pope released it fair and square, but it looks like Ontario hands were touching that.
The fans want Mahar to get it again, but I think Pope's going to try and get some territory here.
He's punching this into a stiff wind. What do you think these players playing with no socks now, or little ankle socks? What's that about?
Don't know, Dougie.
Oh, as I look at your little ankle socks and your little underarms there. Sorry, wrong guy to ask.
Tell you what, some of the kits fantastic around the place. They all look very professional, these provincial teams. Good to see.
Quebec, especially in the last couple of years, has really turned it on.
Powder
style
blue
department.
Fleur-de-lis.
Oh, they haven't got one line out right all afternoon, New Brunswick. Poor guys. They're really struggling against that defense. That's the fly half. Schimple getting it outside. This will be another Ontario score, I think. That'll have to be the afternoon at this point. Maybe she'll cut it short.
Well, shorter it is. Tremaine Shorter touching it down.
That turns it up to 81, so beating BC's total yesterday. If you're a fan of New Brunswick, stay away from the points for and against column. You don't want to be looking at that.
So the big matches for New Brunswick are the crossovers when they get seeded and match up against some of the other provinces at their level. I give credit to Ontario players. They've stuck at it, shown discipline, been respectful of their opponents.
Is this Mills taking another shot? No, we've got a new kicker. This is Schimple.
This is Schimple.
Yeah, he took the last one as well. That's right.
Good nudge. Straight through. So painfully he keeps the scoreboard ticking over.
So taking a look at tomorrow's schedule, starting at 9 a.m. here in Field 1, Saskatchewan versus British Columbia, under-18 women at 10:30 a.m. Quebec versus Ontario 3, under-18 men. It's BC versus Newfoundland, under-18 men at 12 o'clock. 1:30 has Alberta versus Ontario 2, under-18 men. And it's a 3 o'clock start between Alberta versus British Columbia 1, U16 men. 4:30 p.m. kickoff for Ontario 1 versus British Columbia 2, U16 men. That should be an interesting matchup. It could be a good game or a lot of one-way traffic.
Trying the short kick, trying to mix it up.
Schimple, quick offload.
Good tackle by the substitute there. Dylan Fradrick.
That's a kick back inside. Lots of chase coming up, and now what a foot race. Oh, and the ball just betrayed Tate Ruse as he came to chase that up. It didn't bounce in his hands, and we've seen enough there. As we're approaching 30 minutes, that's a good place to end it. And a great performance by Ontario, but full credit to New Brunswick. They played right till the last minute, and it's not always easy to do.
No, and as you'd expect, Dougie, both teams shaking hands here. It was a one-sided affair, but they'll live to play another day. As you said, Ontario have a big couple of matchups with BC coming up, and the Spruce will go on to play a team closer to their stature, and I'm sure they'll be looking for results. And as the train rolls out, Dougie, we're done here.
We're out of the station too, so that'll do it for us here from day 2 at Calgary Rugby Park. For Gareth Reese and our social director, Florent Rosigneau, and Matt Cross, we're going to say goodbye for now and back at you tomorrow, 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time.